So you've decided you want to learn how to identify native plants. Well, it's quite an undertaking to start with, but there are some tips and tricks that can help you along the way. So the best thing you can do is go to a natural or semi-natural area. Sometimes this can be harder to find in the urban environment, but sometimes even just a simple trail like this can provide lots of different native plants to look at. So being a plant identification person is something that you need to kind of be like a plant detective. You can't just focus on one trait. You know, if it has thorns, well, that could be lots of different plants. Or if it has fern-like leaves, well, there's lots of different ferns. So it's good to notice the key traits of a plant, and it's also good to look at multiple features and think about it at once. So sometimes plant identification is not so much about what plant is it, but what plant isn't it. So if you can narrow the focus down, it can be really helpful. For example, we have a fern here. So you can tell it's a fern. It's got lots of little leaflets, kind of that classic fern shape. So even people who aren't familiar with plants could probably tell that was a fern of some kind, which again narrows your focus down. You don't have to look in the field guide part under trees or shrubs. You're looking in the fern section. So that can really help narrow down your options. Another thing that's helpful is to figure out whether it's a tree, a shrub, or an herb. So in some cases the lines between these are kind of blurred, but usually if you're looking at a shrub of some kind, it's something like this. You know, it's got multiple stems, it's woody, the branches stay out, even if it goes deciduous in the fall or winter, the woody parts regrow in the spring. Some shrubs are evergreen, and but again, they're woody. So usually the dividing line between tree and shrub is if it has one stalk or if it has multiple stems. That's one dividing line for tree and shrub. The other thing is a height category. So for example, this vine maple we're looking at right here, it's quite tall, and it sometimes gets put in the tree category and it sometimes gets put in the shrub category. So it's a little bit of an arbitrary line, but usually if you're looking for something that's woody, short on the shorter side and multiple stems, that's a shrub. Something that's taller, usually it's the 15-foot mark is often quoted as the dividing line between tree and shrubs, but as I said, it's a little bit arbitrary. And sometimes you'll have multi-stem trees as well. So yeah, but if you can figure out whether you're a tree, shrub, or herb. So herbs are plants that usually either are perennials or annuals, so they die back every year. So this one grew up this year. This bracken fern grew up this year. It died back in the fall and winter. So if there's no woody remains that it regrows from every year, then it's an herb of some kind. So in herbs, or you might throw ferns in there and grasses and stuff as well. So those are kind of your three sort of major categories of plants. Yeah, and then from there, figuring out whether things are in different families based off the flower is again another useful way of looking in your plant identification books and helping you narrow it down.